Hi guys, this video is to learn about complex notation. Now it's not extremely complicated. Hopefully the way that I explain it doesn't blow your mind. Again, we're going to be using all three clefs, treble, viola, bass, clef. And yeah, we're going to go from there. Just remember the musical alphabet goes from A through G and it repeats A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and so on and so forth. So last time we remembered the clefs by using mnemonics or the word face, right? Or a variation of it. That will help us, but honestly, there's an easier way to learn complex notation than that. Anyway, I'm going to write those on this end of the board. So we know in treble clef, our spaces equal face. Spaces spell face, and the lines, every good boy does fine. In the viola clef, sorry, that got really windy. Our lines spell face G, and the spaces are good boys do fine. And in the bass clef, our lines spell good boys do fine always, and the spaces all cows eat grass. So we know these. Now we're going to learn more notes that extend up and down from the staff. You've seen music that gets higher and lower. Always remember that the higher it is on the staff, the higher the notes get. They get really high up here and then they go down the staff and the notes get lower till it's really bassy and low for you low brassers and boys in the choir. So that's what happens. But the way that we're going to learn this is going to be a little bit easier, in my opinion, because all we're really going to think about is the alphabet and the fact that it just goes from line to space, line to space. So starting with the treble clef up here, we're going to establish first which is our center line right here. And we know that this is B for bacon. B for bacon. All right, now we're just going to go up the alphabet. So the next letter after B is C, which is the next space. And then we go up to the next one, which is a line. To the next letter is D for dog, and so on and so forth. So B, C, D, E, F. All right, those are all the ones that we've already learned from our mnemonic. Now we're going to keep going, and what we're going to add what we call ledger lines, L-E-D-G-E-R, ledger lines. They are essentially us adding extra little staff lines, but little itty bitty teeny tiny ones, so that we know exactly where we are in pitch. So the next letter after F is G, and that sits right on top of the staff. And then we draw our first ledger line, and there is A. We draw that same ledger line because we want to be on the space above it, and there is B for bacon. Now we keep going and we need to add another ledger line, C, D, line, space, line, space, and it can honestly just keep going as high as you want it to. Now it doesn't really make a lot of sense to draw like a billion ledger lines. There are other shortcuts to write music that way, but that is what's going on here. Now, when you have a note that has more than one ledger line, you need to draw all of the ledger lines. You can't just eyeball it. Now, I'm right now feeling quite annoyed about all of the space that I have between these notes, because honestly, the A would be 1, 2, 3, 4, A. 4 ledger lines. But I put all my ledger lines super close to each other on the G up there. It's just, yeah, it's annoying. But yeah, you need to have all the ledger lines, because if you only draw one of the ledger lines and you're like, that's A, it's not A. If it has one ledger line, it's B. Okay? 4 ledger lines. And that's just the alphabet. B, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A, and it keeps going. Now we're going to go down. We got letter before B is A, before that is G, F, E, and that's as far as we had learned over there. We just keep going. D, C, B, A, G, F, E, D, C, and it really does. It just keeps going. It goes up and it goes down. Those are ledger lines. Those are the notes. Now let's move on to the next clef. Hopefully, if you are a treble clefer, you already wrote this down. If you want, just to be extra, then you could do these two as well. All right, viola clef. Our middle note is C right here. All right, I'm going to do it a little backwards just so that I have the space. C. So if we're going up in letters A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and it keeps going. And now we go backwards. C, B, A, G, F, E, D, C, B, A, G, F, E, and it really does just keep going both directions. Make sense? Bass clef, your turn. Our middle one, good boys do. D. Middle note is D. Let's go up the alphabet. D, E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A, and it keeps going. And now we go down the alphabet. D, C, B, A, G, F, E, D, C, B, A, G, F, E, and it keeps going. Okay, it can go as high as you want and it can go as low as you want. Now I do want to point one thing out when it comes to pitch. So the piano can read all of these. And there are also oftentimes in more advanced music where you will change clefs. If you play the trombone, you play bass clef, and if you get high enough, you play viola clef. If you're playing the piano, you're playing both of these clefs, okay? And there is a middle note that joins the two clefs together. Joins all three clefs, really. Viola, sometimes you're reading viola clef, sometimes you get all the way up to treble clef, because it's easier for publishers to write the music in treble clef than to have a bunch of ledger lines. It's just a thing that they do. So we've got C4. Now, C4 is a specific pitch. It's the middle C on the piano. We call it C4 because of all the different octaves that there are. This one is the fourth octave C. It sounds like this. That is C4. Which one is C4? Well, in treble clef, this one is C4. If I'm reading in treble clef, I know that C right there, this C, not this one, and not that one over there. This C is middle C, C4. Violas, your middle note is C4. So when you play your regular old C, it's the middle C on the piano. And bass clef, this one right here. So when you're playing C on your trombone, it's the middle C on the piano or the low C on a violin. Okay, it's like the lowest note you can play on the flute. And it's kind of almost can get there on the trombone. And the viola is like, yeah, I could play C. So yeah, this is complex notation. After this, I can write whatever I want in music and you should be able to tell me what letter it is. You can tell me what words I spell. When it comes to pitches, I'm not going to do a lot of transposing between clefs, but for those of you that are choosing a solo that's in a clef that's not your own, this can help you figure out how to write it for your clef. So if you're a trombone player and you found some good music for trumpet that you really want to play, just read the music. Know that this C, whenever you see this C on trumpet, it means that C on the trombone. So you might want to bring it down to this C. It's called transposing. But I'll talk to you guys about that at an individual basis as you need it. Okay. So make sure you have all of this written down. If you don't have it written down, then just like pause the video and copy it down. Otherwise, that's all. Complex notation. Yay, alphabet.